it took me, or it took the Discord several tries to disconnect, and now I got one little small red bar.
Yeah, it definitely sounds that way right now. Maybe it'll stabilize.
I guess I try restarting my router and that either fixes it or makes it completely worse, but yeah, be back in a minute or so. Oh,
Okey-doke.
I got 2 bars now. Okay, maybe I don't restart my router.
Ooh.
Hold on, let me try something.
Okay.
How about now?
Okay. Yes, 3 bars. Did you change something?
Yes. Or did I?
Yeah, usually we can shift around whichever server this the Roll20 Discord here uses. Words. I can't. I need to actually start off my brain. I'm sorry. Yeah, we can shift over the server from like different US ones, and they seem to have like different connectivity at different times.
Yeah. Couldn't you shift over to Europe? No, I guess fine. My
Probably could, but that might end up being different too. I don't know.
yeah. Yeah, I suspected my internet provider at first. I get good speed for a reasonable price, but they used to be reliable, and now I get more, no big outages mostly, but more short outages than it used to be. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
fun. At least that's better than over here. One of the ISP providers over here for 10 years basically did not upgrade anything from like basic cable to like any kind of modern service and kind of forestalled it. And during that entire time, anytime it rained, like the internet would start fritzing out.
Okay.
It's like, how do you allow this to happen?
My Inter ISP did maintenance work, but very often they got better now about this. Very often it was, oh yeah, sorry for the outage 2 days ago. We did maintenance work. You noticed, right? Right? Yeah.
Well, since we're having computer issues here, I'm going to reboot mine because I was just typing something into a text box and the text was lagging far behind what I was typing. My computer's been on light, so I should have restarted it beforehand. I'm sorry.
That's
We
some
waited.
latency right there. Alright, so I suppose we'll wait for Ark to finish up then.
Yeah.
I can't remember, Teal Chan, were you the one who was interested in Scion at all?
You were never explicitly asked, and I have to admit I don't know much about Cyan. Why is the spot open?
Yeah, like we're just having some player problems, so we're just like, yeah, let's draw on some more. I'm trying to remember. I feel like I had a conversation with somebody who was interested, and I was like, I can't pin down who it was.
I mean,
So I'll have to think about that, but
we
yeah.
could talk about it after session, what it entails and so on. But right, it would make for very crazy Sundays for some weeks to come. Because early this morning I woke up 7 a.m. on a Saturday to play 8 a.m. with some Australians, Lancer, but as player, not as GM. And if I then put Cyan on top, it would be like RPG, a short break, RPG, RPG.
Yeah, basically what I'm doing today, which is 3 games in a row here.
And yesterday, before I went to sleep, we had session 0 for Fract Eternum. So jetzt RPG the whole weekend.
Nice. What kind of mech are you playing in your Lancer game?
A Rayleigh.
Ooh.
yeah, and he's kind of beefy and runs around with a lot of handguns and gunslinger dice, and
Very cool. I was tempted for half a second to try like aiming towards that, but I'm just like, I'm already trying to avoid spreading out too much here.
yeah, I mean, you would have to shift some stuff around, but it was a lot of fun. And
Mhm.
we infiltrated a submarine enemy government secret research base kind of thingy, and we tried to get the soldiers to stand down, and they kind of agreed, but they had their experiment. They wanted to carry out experiment where no, that stays here. And so yeah, they insisted on shooting us, and we're like, come on, we did just destroy the experiment. Now you can run. You don't have to fight us. And they still insisted on shooting us. And, okay, guys, fuck this on. Handgun with the reload bonus from the chamber, single shot, 70 damage. Of course, it's infantry, so they were resistance, but like, what?
Yeah, instantly annihilated. Oh dear.
No, only annihilated. But the GM was like, what? It's a single auxiliary again. Yes, it is.
Yep,
Or
that's
the-
what the relay does.
I mean, I
Oh, did you get cut off there?
No, I changed the server again because he was going all super robotic.
Oh, you did it mid-sentence.
There was no, he wasn't taking a breath. So maybe he never let go of the button, so he's still been talking this whole time. I don't know, Teal-chan. Start trying to talk again. Okay, that might work too.
Your issues all over the place.
You know, it's great though, because apparently we just got hosted by somebody, so... welcome everybody to your long period of silence as we solve technical problems.
Woo! I'm gonna bet later today my net cuts out mid my session. I have been having tons of fun writing though. Last time I wrote like 4,000 words, and that lasted 2 sessions. This time I've written 6,000 words, and I'm just like, is this enough?
Well, you know, a lot of this stuff is organic. We go
Yeah,
off,
exactly.
we do things. You're good about having the world react.
Yeah, that's basically what the entirety of my notes is, just making sure that I know what to have in character and how to like roll with whatever is going to happen. I think this session is going to be like a lot of individual stuff though. Because I don't have everyone like around a single thing anymore at the moment.
Well, you
I'll
know,
wrap people back to it, I think.
Hugo and I have our dual thing together.
Yeah. I'd say there's going to be A and B plot. And at the end, there's going to be the choice of which one do you guys do first. That's the way I kind of am trying to predict it to happen, but we'll see what happens.
Well, I mean, you know, I went with the Zamix thing the last time, under the guise of, hey, if I do this, you're gonna have to do what I want next time, no questions asked. And he said, okay. So we're going to that forest.
You're gonna go visit your family.
Well, no, we're going right to the forest. If my family shows up, that's on them. Also, if my, air quotes, family shows up, that's gonna be weird, because they're 50% dead.
Yeah, shows up in the middle of the forest. It's like, oh yes, me and your father were just talking.
Well, my mother's fine. But if my
Yeah,
dad
yeah.
shows up, it's gonna be really weird.
He's been here the whole time for 20 years.
You didn't even die here.
And then you find out the entire town was skeletons all along, representing their decay and decline.
But yeah, anyway, to me it's not a choice. To me it's already been decided a week ago.
Yeah, like, you're the one I'm least worried about, because I understand exactly what you probably want to do and what I need to do around it. And I already have that plot solidly in mind. Everything else going on is basically like, how do I continue from where we left off? I got these hooks, and I gotta mix them together.
And I also appreciate, as far as I know, to the supernatural start that we had, me and Zamek are the only ones really engaging in the supernatural anymore.
So far, I think I may be doing way too slow of a burn, but I like the way I'm setting it up, so maybe I'll increase the heat eventually.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason, I mean, I don't know that you're under any rush to finish the project.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, there's the difference between finishing it and, like, popping the bubble of, like, oh my gosh, everything's like this now, no! I feel like Discovery is, like, a whole part of the kind of, like, occult theming, right?
Right? And
So if
everybody...
it's just, like, all immediately on the surface, it's like, well, now we know that there's cults taking over the world. I guess it's not a mystery anymore. What are we gonna do about it?
Well, I
But when
mean,
it's
also...
you don't know about it yet.
Also the fact that you have 4 to 5 secret goals wandering around that we don't... Not everyone has shared. So...
Yup. You're diving straight into yours, which at least gave me something very easy to do. Demons is gonna take a little bit because he has to actually get information and get it back. So I can, like, put that on pause for a bit and tap that a little later. And everyone else. Oh yeah, you reminded me of the thing I need to do. Yeah, I can't believe I forgot about that. I forgot about it last time too. I know that's incredibly vague speak.
Adding the handout to the tick game, yes.
No, no handout here on that one. But
No, I mean Arcloyd's thing.
oh yeah. Let's see. Is there anything else I was missing? Rafferty's is still a slow burn. I still don't have, like, a super great read on Rafferty as a player, actually, I think. Like, what he expects and what makes him, like, really happy. I think most of that is just, like, letting him feel really smart.
Yeah, I mean, when you figure that one out, take notes and send them my way. All I do is I listen for the silence or the sighs. That's all I got.
Right, yeah, I want to minimize the size. I want to make him happy. I feel like he's the one I could make the most easily bored, and I'm like, gotta be real careful. Gotta make him happy.
Well, most of the time we're playing a game that he's written right, and he'll be like looking into things like, oh yeah, that's just like this thing and that thing from this era and that era, and I'll be like, yeah, it is, and I'll be like, that's not what I wrote down.
Yeah, I actually appreciate some of his tangential dialogue.
Well, no, I just mean that
helps add more to the scene.
I mean that his insights are deeper than the things that I wrote myself. And I'm like, well, certainly you could think of it that way. I'm not going to dissuade you. You're increasing the value of my game, while at the same time, I just have to squeeze this into the tiny little box that I've written.
Yep. I mean, I got my whole little bucket of research over here, and whenever they happen to intersect with his bucket, it'll be nice. Anyone else? So that just leaves, Fui. Fui I've seen mostly DM, and he seems to be doing pretty good and having lots of fun. So I think if I just keep rolling with him, everything will be perfectly fine.
Fui is the detective?
Yes, and the former GM. Now I'm
Well,
seeing
no.
him actually be a player.
No, I know I could not remember what his character was.
Yeah,
I know that I had to write everybody's characters' names down in a graphic way, and then also put their characters' names to their art, but in the middle somewhere, I've forgotten which character is which person.
Yeah, I understand that feeling a lot. Like, I have almost 200,000 words written, I'm sure, just about this campaign. I'm still like, who is this guy again? What was the name?
Well, just I think on a personal side, just haven't interacted with them a lot yet, so
hmm
they're doing a lot of mundane stuff, and I guess technically I'm doing a lot of mundane stuff too, just I'm coding it in a supernatural vibe.
Right. But, right now, you're actually the easiest person to handle. Because I understand exactly who you are, what you want, and you're doing everything I want you to do. So I'm really happy with you right now.
Sure, and the things that I'm doing, you've seen those movies.
And I also appreciate you going along with the whole show up at the warehouse thing and then just act like uh you have no idea what's going on, which was fantastic.
Because, I mean, I don't know what's going on.
I know, but it was a good concession from you to just, go and participate and act in character. I liked that. It made everything feel a lot smoother.
I am trying to go with the flow a lot more these days. Well, the hard thing about having goals is that you have to sacrifice something to not make those goals happen. It's like, why would I sacrifice something if I could get everything I want? I'm like the end of Willy Wonka, right? You know what happened to the boy who got everything he wanted? He had no friends because he
Exploded the glass
sacrificed.
elevator?
No, he had no friends because he sacrificed everything along the way to get there.
Oh, right, all those kids are dead. Nope, not anymore. Canonical endings.
But yeah, I mean, gotta participate in a gang warfare once in a while, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, if anything, if I
I mean, you
did
got a
know,
truck out of it.
did I know? So we've got this illegally stolen truck, which we're gonna have to bail on because it's stupid. Why would you? Anyway,
I'm definitely going to be asking, like, what's going to happen with that?
I mean, if there was anything I wanted to get out of that deal, it would probably be the acid stuff.
Mhm.
I mean, you could use that in a show, right? Like, here's dripping acid. I'm gonna drip it on this cord. It's gonna eat through this cord, and I have that long to get out of this box. You know, anything. Acid can be anything. It's not just a weapon. It's a stage prop.
Yep, and unfortunately, most of it has been exploded.
Yeah,
Probably has some.
yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. If there was anything I would have wanted to get out of there, it's that. But at the same time, I wasn't like gonna risk anything to do so.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
You played a character who was perfectly rational, and I liked it.
I mean, at worst, I tried to yell at somebody to get out of a seat and misunderstood the rolling rules somehow, despite having been playing this game for over 10 years. Not Urban Jungle, but Cardinal System itself.
Right. I occasionally forget, like, so what happens when, like, we do an opposed roll, and I roll 2s and they roll 3s? Nobody actually got successes, right?
Well, I meant more so forgetting number of successes versus highest success. Because I remember there were certain rolls that required numbers of successes over highest die result.
Yeah, I think that's been flattened out a little bit recently, where it's only A or B and not a mix.
Right.
Which is definitely a little more convenient, I think.
Well, it also kind of messes me up where I might have, I don't know, 6 to 7 D6s, right? But you'll have like 1 D8 and beat me every time. So it's like, oh, well, not working out so
I kind of
great.
worry about that with my NPCs. I'm just like, all right, I want to do this thing, and to make it happen, I need a lot of dice. And if they're all D6s, I feel like it's probably not gonna win even if it does the thing. But if it's all D8s, there's a chance that it'll never lose.
Yeah,
It's
I
like,
found.
cool, I gotta make this more complicated.
Well, I found erring on the side of D6s is usually better, especially for early game, because I don't want to
Yeah,
go in
it's
there
kinda
and
hard.
rock you all so hard that you don't want to play.
Yeah, I was honestly looking at like just the basic mobsters I had and going, is this gonna murder everybody?
Right. I'd like to have the case of the unexpected badass NPC, then all the NPCs are badass and you've unexpectedly beat them. because one of those is going to play out well most of the time. The other one is not going to play out well a lot of the time.
Yeah. Like last time, Quickshot was Action Elite and had D8s, but he just got knocked out instantaneously, which was fantastic. And then meanwhile, the semi-most threatening thing on the field was just, random Mook got the shotgun.
Yep, just got to remember those stunt rules this time.
Yup, gonna try to remember. Gonna do my best.
Well, yeah,
Gonna
again,
not let
because
everyone just do everything for fun.
I think the problem is that these are new people to the system, and if they experience something the first time, they're going to wonder why they couldn't do it the second time.
Yeah. But at least everyone's had a chance to, feel free to try to do things, and I think everyone is at least slightly comfortable with that now. Or at least with scaring everybody. Scaring is definitely the thematic thing to do in this game.
Well, the thing is that stunts are the more complicated maneuvers. I would think if you were learning a new game, stunts would be one of the last things you want to try.
Yeah.
Especially because
At the
there's
same time,
the...
it's like the most useful tool.
Right, but there's the action economy, right? Because a stunt instantly ends your turn, so you want to learn to do things before you perform your stunt.
Yup.
That's where I
Like
end up
guarding
getting
and then scaring.
Right, because you don't want to be like, okay, I'm going to try and scare him, and then I'm going to be, oh no, you can't do that, because you remember, you stunted, so your turn's over. It's like, oh, I wanted to guard. Well, you gotta learn.
Yeah. Like every time I'm doing these talks, I'm just like, yeah, I need to do that myself. Then I get in game, I'm like, oh, I completely forgot to have the NPCs do that. But at least we're all playing at the same level of ignorance, so it's all fine. Nothing was technically intended to be too dangerous.
Again, I hope not. My guy can't dodge or do anything. So he shoots at him, I'm going to be rolling a new character. Well, I guess technically not, because you can't die in Urban Jungle, which has been pointed out.
Yeah.
Which is slightly disappointing, but whatever.
I mean, it could always be used for dramatic points at some point. But yeah, as the GM, I had no intention of actually murdering anybody. The encounter wasn't designed to be too much for a group of people to just walk in and handle.
Well,
And
there
it
is
would,
optional death rules.
yeah, there are. But of course, I want to use that sparingly just because I want to keep things rolling. At the same time, I'm probably going to start pulling out people with bigger guns eventually.
But if you can't die...
I mean, you could still get injured, have all your stuff burned down, have your show ruined, your reputation tarnished, and kicked out of town. And then put in jail.
Awesome, a character I don't want to play anymore, but he can't die.
Cursed to live as they are.
Well, I mean, all you've made then is a character who has all these badass powers he doesn't need any ability to do anything with, who now has nothing to live for. I think we all know what I do in that sort of scenario, and how that's not great for a game either.
Yeah. I think it's part of why I also like the slow burn a bit, because it gives people a chance to understand the possible underlying threats and poke the beehive, rather than the beehive immediately trying to murder you.
I think the benefit of a slow burn is it gives you things to be invested in, and then build up those investments without immediately having a reason to just want to burn it all to the ground.
Yeah, exactly. One of the things I want to try to keep in mind this session is get everyone a little bit invested in their character and their own things so that they feel like they have a place in the world.
I mean, I've
You're
already
literally
got...
going back to your hometown, so it's like, if you don't stop by and see your mother, what kind of son are you?
And at the same time, I've got Hugo thinking of tricks that I want him to do on our next stage show.
Yeah. Welcome back, Tilchin.
Okay. Yeah, it took me twice to restart my router, but now it works. And strangeness.
Can anybody hear him?
Hey. Yep, I can.
I'm sorry, that was a joke.
I
You
can.
didn't play into it.
I'm not that cruel.
Yeah. Yeah. For some reason, after restarting the first time, I got IPv6, but not IPv4. What? It's
I'm not sure how
no.
that's actually possible. Well,
Yes, if
I
my
guess.
internet provider doesn't route IPv4 for me, so I'm lost, right?
Mm-hmm. Lost on the interwaves.
Okay.
Give me 20 seconds and I'll be right back.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 20.
That's not how you do that.
Is it 120?
1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi, 6 Mississippi, 7 Mississippi, 8 Mississippi, 9 Mississippi, 10 Mississippi, 11 Mississippi, 12 Mississippi, 13 Mississippi, 14 Mississippi, 15 Mississippi, 16 Mississippi, 17 Mississippi, 18 Mississippi, 19 Mississippi, 20 Mississippi. You said 20 seconds, right?
Yeah. So.
I figured every language has some way to count like that. America can't be the only one.
Oh, in Germany, you are told to start with 21 because then you count slower if you start with a big number. So it's 21, 22, 23.
Ah, yes. Counting on your children to be dumb and unable to speak swiftly.
Yeah, I mean, in Germany, the word is slightly longer.
It's what?
The German word for 22 is 22. So it's.
Oh, I thought you meant the
Hyphen-
word you put between the numbers to make it longer.
Yeah.
I'm back.
Slightly more than 20 seconds. So, welcome back. I hope everybody's really ready now. Zero, you got a official job of recapping.
Ah, the official title, huh?
Yes.
Alright, I'm gonna put on my recap crown. Last time, winter ended, and we had to decide what we were going to do for spring. We set up a
Summer.
few plans. For summer.
Sorry.
Yeah, maybe I just didn't recognize that the year had gone on longer through winter for a second. Yeah, after a long winter, we set about a few different tasks around the colony before trying to decide if we were going to go help a scouting mission out to Laguna or try to pursue some ambush tactics on some of the different columns that are threatening around the continent. We ultimately decided to go to Laguna to investigate if we could go ahead and take over the abandoned city before anyone uses it as a beachhead. Funny enough, by the time we get there, it in fact already is a beachhead, with over 10,000 troops already stationed there. We took out a small outpost with minimal losses, at which point we received the codes for a Union fleet up in orbit. The captain communicated to us, and we instructed them that they could land around home safely. They are seeking to parlay with the Second Union, as it is known over here, that has taken over Laguna. The current Union that is here to help us is from the Third Union. They are less fanatical than the Second Union. The prisoners we had last time showed off their loyalty to the cause and seemed very unmoved by the idea that their union had ended and they needed to join the new one. So I wonder what might happen when the captain tries to communicate with them writ large. That said, we've pulled back from the outpost for the time being to see how this pans out and perhaps plan an upcoming strategy. We still have about 1,000 scouts here with us, we have our 3 mechs, and we have a possible opportunity to remove the beachhead and see what we can do about it. I think that's the end of my recap then. Miss anything?
It's
Second committee. There we go.
Yeah, technically it's still the same union, just a new committee took over. About nearly 500 years ago, and the Battle of Hysonia was the spark that ignited the end of the second committee. Because, yeah, some people didn't like the bad treatment of the only sentient aliens ever found. Huh? Okay. Then you retreat the way or walk back your way from Town 03, the outpost of you conquered, which is right next to Laguna, and make your way to High Foam again. By the time you reached High Foam,
Oh, I didn't
Union.
think we were retreating that far.
Oh, you won't? Okay, then.
Yeah, I thought we were only retreating a small distance just so that we wouldn't be ambushed if we stuck around the outpost. The captain said he was going to go ahead and begin communications immediately, and I was curious to listen in on that. If they go through poorly, we may want to just stay in the area and see what we can coordinate with him. He has spaceships.
Okay, then. Damn, I forgot to note down the name of the commander. You remember it? I pasted it, right?
Yes, you did. It is Captain Michael Mishka Daitalov.
Ah, here. Thank you.
Or Dyatlov.
Dyatlov. Yeah. Several ways to pronounce that one. So, okay, then you retreat as you retold. Captain Dyatlov immediately begins or tries to begin diplomatic communications, and they go poorly. Basically, whoever is stationed at Laguna doesn't accept them at real Union and sees them as how I'm missing English words. Somebody who just acts like he is the real thing but isn't. Imposters.
Imposter.
They treat them like imposters, and no, you can't be Union. It's all wrong what you do. And yeah, Captain Dyatlov continues on with the diplomacy. He has some optimism left in him, and around home, he basically tries to take over command. Because yeah, Union is here. We're the boss now. Doesn't matter that we only have 2,000 troops. We're the boss now.
I will try to communicate to the captain to belay that until we return for full discussions. But I would like to try to communicate to the captain about a little bit of the situation and what he could probably help do right now. And Teal'c, I remember in the past you mentioned some anti-air weaponry of some kind, but I think that was mostly deeper into the other continent, wasn't it?
No, there's anti-air weaponry stationed at Laguna.
Okay. So for right now, I want to order some scouting of marking down the anti-air, and I want to communicate to the captain about perhaps assisting in securing Laguna immediately once we can take down the anti-air. That would immediately secure the entire situation on this continent and provide us the smallest possible front line to deal with.
Yeah, it's you still remember that March of Subaltern that's continuing on you?
Yup, that's a problem too. There are a lot of problems, Captain.
And yes, you uh, if you insist, you can scout out the situations of all the anti-air installations, but we won't be attacking this week or next week. We are still trying diplomacy right now. I haven't lost
Very
hope that
well
we
then.
will get through.
We'll finish up operations in this area and then reconnect. So for the time being then, I think the best orders with our scout troop here is that we will take our full reconnaissance, try to mark down as much defense and especially anti-air as possible for the future, and then proceed with the retreat to home.
I, in Laguna, there are 10,000 troops now, and most of the anti-air is in the city itself. So you would have to get really close, and they now know that you are here. So
Right, so at least we know it's all concentrated rather than spread around. We could actually secure a lot of area outside Laguna then.
yeah,
Okay, so that's very good information to have learned then. I'll confer
but
with our scout leader as well and see if there's anything else in the area he needs to complete as an objective before we return home.
and you also remember that area around thingy, they got marine support, so they have ship that can fire inland. So mobile artillery. So if you get spotted inland, you might still get shot by the ships.
Ooh, yeah, that's extra dangerous. So if they have the water and they have the air and they have a full defensive position, they just have Laguna. We can't do enough with only 1,000 troops against multiple different fronts we can't really deal with.
Yes.
If we took down the air and we brought in the ships, maybe there'd be a chance. But probably best for us to not do anything right now. We'll form a better plan later. But we've learned something important, and we have minor communication. And prisoners.
And prisoners.
So, time for us to go home with our prisoners.
And
It'll take another week journey, I believe you said.
I guess it was something like 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I can't remember honestly, but I said the book says a month or something like that.
Right. We could maybe try to set up a few scout groups to remain in the area and report if they see any mobilized advancement heading in, so that we could have a forewarning. But that would entirely depend on what the scout setup is and if they're actually ready to stay and dig in whatsoever. I don't think they are they?
No, but you could establish something like a forward scout line. So
Yeah,
that it takes a
perfect.
few rations and then rotates about halfway. So here are something. And
Okay, that's perfect then. So now we are not completely defenseless against future beachhead. Perfect.
you
So,
mean you will now see your doom coming?
exactly. That's better than being completely blindsided by it. Now
Sorry.
we'll know why we're dead.
Yeah. You make your way back and make your plans how you leave some scouts behind that will be rotated in the future. And when you are about halfway, you get more signals from space.
Oh boy. What we got this time?
It's okay. Let me find the correct page. Sorry. Yeah, sorry, I don't have a text for you to paste. The
That's okay.
beta class Torricelli or Torricelli, however. Hails it's a ship from Landmark, and Landmark has come in force to, take
I could
over.
just imagine Zero just rubbing his forehead at this point. Alright, everyone's here. Everyone's gonna start clamoring for command, huh?
Yes,
Oh boy.
and you see several of the shuttles making landfall, and they basically try to hail Evergreen, and they also hail you, a certain Colonel Hort.
Okay. I'll respond and also give them clearance and directions for safe landing. This is Zero.
Greetings, Colonel Hort. What's your status?
Status is good, area secure, multiple rampant hostiles. I can detail later, of course, but I do recommend landing first. This area in broad sweeps should be safe.
Very well. I'd like to convene you with you at your earliest possibility, like in 2 hours. I should have established a beachhead by then.
What's our ETA back home right now?
Or still like 10 days.
I'll go ahead and respond. Negative. We're still en route. We'll return in 10 days. I advise heading to this location, as we will be establishing a meeting with Union Captain Mishka, as well as current residents of the planet. There we will have a full settlement on the current situation.
Yes. Very well then. Please send in all the reports you got in the meantime. Because, there wasn't much that reached us. Also, do you know about Eddie Wu? He doesn't answer our hails.
Let's see. I think we've confirmed he's dead, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'll say as much. Like, Eddie Wu has died about several months ago during the invasion of Evergreen by Bigger One.
I'm very intrigued to read your reports then.
I believe if you're landing around Evergreen, you can hook up with Patience, and Patience should be able to inform you of my former reports.
Did you write any reports after you defeated Beggar One and restored Patience?
Good question. Maybe at this point, I'm trying to imagine what my relationship with Patience would be. Probably less future informations and plans have been given to Patience, but I'm probably using Patience to store information for me. Which would, of course, be previous reports and things we've already done that aren't going to be aren't going to be a threat if someone found out about them later, basically. So it'll probably say things like, "Oh yeah, here's what the development plans were. Here's how we're just building houses." Probably less information on like this is where we're placing ambush points, which is probably actually with the Egregorian home command right now.
Yeah.
So we're on our way back. We have 10 days. We have 3 groups who all might be slightly antagonistic to each other with weapons and forces. And I've got to pray they don't kill each other by the time we get back.
I just realized the Weather class story, Shelly, it's 2 ships they landed with.
Okay, so
the-
do they have 4 total, was it?
It's now 2 ships Union, 2 ships Landmark.
Okay, that's good then.
Yes.
So, understood. Waiting for like the next 24 hours, like, well, everything's on fire.
Oh, yes. I found it. It's the Landmark. They got 5,000 security officers and 200 security chassis. So 200 max. So they outnumber the Union in
Very interesting.
instantly.
This is a lot of forces in this area. At least if anyone comes to attack us now, they're just going to be suddenly surprised at what happened.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the Union got 2,000 auxiliary marines and 100 auxiliary chasers. Okay, you make your way back, and you realize tensions are high because Landmark isn't too pleased about Union being here. They fear that they may lose control of the planet, and Highform or Home kinda prefers Union because with Union they might get some independence. But
Not to mention they already sent an ambassador out.
your what's this? Captain Dyatlov doesn't mention the ambassador. You don't know.
Interesting.
So you don't know if he doesn't know or doesn't mention him on purpose.
That's fine. I'm sure if they're doing something, they're doing something interesting. Well, one way or another, Zero is probably going to start organizing a summit between the leaders so that everyone is on the same page. We can figure out what everyone wants and how we're going to handle all of this mess. Which basically leaves the other two to do as they wish for the time being.
Cobra, Chobis?
Yeah, I have no plans.
I would like to be able to support my CEO in anything he does, so there is that.
Kiss ass!
But of course,
My most reliable kiss ass.
Compared to what? I broke you out of jail.
it was my idea.
Yeah, it's not what
You
he
actually beat there.
No, it doesn't. His idea, which went against your orders.
That's why I'm kissing ass right now, to try to make up for it.
I couldn't ask for a more dysfunctional pair at my service.
Okay. Yeah, basically, it's very easy. Home wants to defeat the machine, or at least make sure they won't lose against them. But with Union and Landmark support, they think they should have a chance at attacking. Because yes, enemy has anti-air and enemy has an air force, but they now got an air force too, slight as it may be, and more troops, experienced troops. Union wants still wants to make diplomatic efforts in reintegrating their old soldiers, because yeah, both the Hycernians and the Centellus forces and the Bem Honore forces are descendants of Union soldiers or Union personnel. So, and Landmark wants control over their colony and also wants the patient's casket back. You remember the one that's still with Marsh Alpha?
Oh, yup, that's still out there, isn't it? They're still parading it, aren't they?
Yes.
Well, I guess we can put that on the objective list now.
I mean, and Marsh Alpha is closing on your position, so you still got some month or two left, but battle will happen.
Right, it's coming.
Yeah.
And I guess out of all this, what does Home want right now? Given between the colony trying to reestablish itself and the Union trying to basically integrate everyone in. What are their current goals and desires out of all this?
Uh,
Do they want to just remain purely independent? Are they actually okay with the Union and kind of joining up?
I mean, the joining up would come down to a lot of details, because yeah, with the Egregorians down here, especially the Egregorians, basically want an assurance that they can live free however they want, and so they would be willing to formally accept Union as long as they can govern their planet as they want, and
Right.
Union itself would be mostly okay with that.
Okay. So it seems like at least there aren't any problems with having the Union here, and that seems perfectly fine and integratable.
Yeah,
So
Landmark doesn't like the Union presence, because yeah, they basically uh, claim all people on this planet as belonging to them.
right, that's the complicating factor, because if their demands are we want the entire planet, that's not really very negotiable with literally everyone else who's already on the planet. So are
The
they at least willing in any regard to like lower their aim to say have the city or that surrounding territory? Or do they just want the entire planet no matter what? How much are they willing to back down from this?
uh, so you want to make some complicated negotiations, right? So and try to get them to back down. So how about you make some roll?
All right. So what kind of role would that be? To get a hold of their statement, or
I mean,
what could I do? Try to read the situation and see what they're willing to get away with, or what they really want out of all of this.
yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, so let's try to read them. Oh, I rolled with 3 accuracy, so let's take out a 6 from that. That is a 17.
Yeah. Uh, yes. Da, da, da. Oh. Da, da, da. Okay. Yeah. When you meet them up in private, you get reminded that you are still under contract by Landmark, and you get told, yeah, they want a living pair of an human Egregorian empathic pairing, as preferably several specimen, and ideally an overmind.
I see.
And
Let's talk about the contract a little bit. What
And-
are the actual terms of this right now, I think?
One thing, and on top of that, if you can, some specimen alive or dead of various morphs. Remember that huge space morphs, stuff like that.
Yup. I got it.
But that's more like on top.
It's a trophy. You know, my mech wears it as a cloak right now. Can't really give that up. Lose street cred. Okay, so they have some demands which basically amount to, hey, we want to experiment on some aliens.
Yes.
Okay.
And some humans that are
And some humans who have linked up with the aliens.
right.
Doesn't sound very nice, so I'm going to go ahead and put that on the back burner. I'm going to address the contract first. So, I've been working with Mirror Smoke. Mirror Smoke is my company, and
Yeah.
they have a contract with Landmark here.
Yeah.
And the question is, what was the parameters for the contract, and have I already met them?
When it's
Because at least as far as to my previous understanding, it was to defend Evergreen and end the threat from the menace currently that was at the time menacing it. I've completed that as far as I'm aware,
it's
unless there's more to the contract.
And
S-
basically, the contract was written in a very well legally, so it's and protect the colony and all threats against it. But yeah, there are still threats, so you did protect it, but there's still more protecting to be done. But-
right, so I'm still technically obliged to be here on the planet and destroy anything that is trying to threaten anything here.
But luckily for you, they didn't foresee political complications on that scale, so there are no political rules written into your contract.
Right, and I think reading into the situation here, I could probably at least say, well, as part of fulfilling my contract, I've arranged the situation to be the most beneficial to the colony in the future, should the colony continue to survive the ongoing wars.
Yeah, but you also found out by reading your situation that getting those specimen is really their core mission, and
Mhm.
they are willing to get to lose the colony. They don't say this openly because it wouldn't sit well with people if they want aliens to experiment on them, but that's more important for them than the colony itself.
Right. So that would at least make the political situation on the planet very, very smooth from our perspective, if they're willing to back down just for that. But at the same time, getting these specimens, it sounds very much like not good things are going to happen to them. So, I mean, I could ask for volunteers, but of course that would require full disclosure.
Yeah, it's
And I wonder if Landmark Colonial is willing to fully disclose what they intend to do. Because it's unlikely anyone would simply volunteer to be taken away.
no, you get reminded again of your uh, uh, contract of secrecy or contractual obligations of secrecy.
Right. Well, I mean, this is part of trying to fulfill it. The easiest way, like I said, would be to ask and have them comply. But it would depend on what you intend to do. But you don't intend to tell me, right?
Oh, you remember that Landmark Colonial is part of the Smith Shimano Corporation?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they are supposed to give them over to Smith to SSC, and SSC does the experimenting. He doesn't know for which experiments they are planned. He's a soldier, need to know basis, right?
Hmm. I see. So, hmm. So this is difficult. I'm contractually obligated to do this, but I want to do this in a way that does not continue to upset the political situation.
I mean, if you try to legalese your way through it, you're not obliged to give them the specimen because, yeah, it's not.
Right, but if I don't, then they're unlikely to back down on their other demands. Is that correct?
Yes.
Right. So that seems to be the choice proposed here, and that is a difficult thing that I need to think about. And I imagine I'll probably have to do some downtime to set it up anyway, right?
Yeah. It's
If this is a downtime phase, probably time to check out what the other two are going to do in the meanwhile. While I figure out exactly how I might try to solve this. Silence falls.
Figure out how you're gonna solve it.
I'm trying to brain it. I need you two guys to talk for a bit.
it's
Put my big brain to use here.
and you're also basically told that even within the landmark forces, like 10 people know their real mission.
Right.
So, and everybody else thinks they're here to do damage assessment, secure the evergreen, collect information, retrieve patients.
You know, brief question. You said that some of the Egregorians actually ended up in the Second Committee military.
Yes.
We technically already have prisoners.